Good day, students. Today we will going to have another lesson, and for today's lesson, we will going to learn finding patterns. And for our objective for today, we will going to investigate the linear number sequence. We will going also to learn how to find the next term in a linear sequence. And lastly, we will going to learn how to find the previous or the missing term in a linear sequence. But first, let us identify what is a pattern. A pattern is a strategy in which students look for patterns in the data in order to solve the problem. Students look for these items or numbers that are being repeated or a series of events that are repeated. Finding the pattern is a method of problem-solving strategy. Now let's start with our first example. We have here, study the following sequence and find out how many matchsticks are there for the next pattern. As what we can see, our first pattern here, it has 4 matchsticks. The next one is, it has 7 matchsticks. And for the next pattern, we have now 10 matchsticks. Now, what will be the next pattern for this one? How many matchsticks will be for our next pattern? Now, let us first study of the first one. The first pattern here, we have 1. And as what we can see, we added 3 matchsticks to make it 4. From 4, we then again add another 3 matchsticks to make it 7. And from 7 matchsticks, we add another 3 matchsticks to make it 10. Now for this example, in this sequence, we are adding 3 more matches each time. So the pattern is plus 3. So from 10, we will going to add 3. And the next pattern for this, there will be 13 matchsticks. Now, let us study the following sequence and find the value of the missing numbers. For this one, we have 5. Next is 7, followed by 10. Next one is 12. Next one is 15, 17, and we have here a blank. Next one is 22. Still, we don't know the next one. And the last is 27. What do you think is the missing number here? Now, let's try to identify and study our first pattern here from 5 into 7. What do you think happened to 5 to make it 7? As what we can see, it increased. And how many increase do we have? It increases by 2. So from 5 to 7, we add 2. So we have here plus 2. The next one here from 2, it became 10. It increased also by how many? It increased by 3. 7 plus 3, it became 10. Now, from 10, it also increases by 2, and now it is already 12. Okay, sorry, this one is 3. So the next one from 10 to 12, we have here plus 2 to make it 12, and 12 to 15, we increase it by 3. So as what we can see now, the pattern is plus 2, plus 3, plus 2, plus 3. So the next one here is plus 2. 15 plus 2, that makes it 17. Now, what is the next pattern after 17? 17 plus 3. The answer is 20. 20. The next pattern is plus 2. That makes it 22. Next, 22 plus 3. That makes it 25. And 25 plus 2, that is 27. Okay? So, the pattern for this is plus 2, plus 3, plus 2, and plus 3. And for our answer, we have 20 and 25 respectively. Now, how about this example? What is the next pattern? For our first example here, we have how many boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 boxes. The next one is, how many boxes do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have now 8 boxes. Okay. Next, after 8, the next, for our third pattern, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. Okay. So as what we have noticed, from 5, what do we do to make it 8? It increases by 3. Very good. So 5 plus 3, it became 8. And 8 plus 3, it became 11. So for this example, the pattern is plus 3. And for our fourth pattern here, 11. 11 plus 3, there will be how many boxes? For the how many squares? The next pattern, there will be 14 squares. Please bear in mind that patterns are done by comparing and contrasting information. This information repeats in a predictable manner. So all we have to do is to identify what is the pattern or how does the pattern repeats. Okay, now the next, let us complete the following number sequence here. Let's start with number 1. For number 1, we don't know what's the first number. We are going to find the first number and the next number here. Okay, so to identify what's the first number here, let us evaluate what happened to 10 to make it 17. Okay, and what happened to 17 to make it 24. So let's start with this one. 10 to make it 17, it increases to 7. So 10 plus 7, that is 17. 17 plus 7, yes, it is 24. 24 plus 7, that is 31. So it means to say the sequence or the pattern for our number 1 example here is plus 7. So 31 plus 7, that is 38. 38 plus 7, that is 45. And 45 plus 7, that is 52. Now, how about our first or the first missing number here? What should we do to 10 to find the missing number here? Because what we can see, we add 7. So all we have to do to find the first one here is we were going to subtract 10 by 7. So 10 minus 7, that is 3. So the first number here is 3. 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 plus 7 is 17. 17 plus 7 is 24. And so on and so forth. So for our first example, the pattern is plus 7. Next, let's start with our number 2 here. So we have here 11, 16, blank, 26, 31, and blank, blank, blank. Now, for this one, let us investigate what happened to 11 to make it 16. For this example, what we did is it increased by 5. So we add 5. The next one here about for 26 and 31. 26 increased by 5, it became 31. So it means to say for our number 2 example, the pattern is plus 5. Okay, so let us now find out the missing numbers here. So for this, 11 plus 5 is 16. 16 plus 5, that is 21. 21 plus 5 is 26. 26 plus 5 is 31. The next one here, 31 plus 5, that is 36. 36 plus 5, that is 41. 41 plus 5, that is 46. Okay, now we're done, or we're done with our number 2. Let's proceed to our last example. We have here number 3, 8. 11, 16, 19, 24, blank, and blank. Now let us investigate what happened to 8 to become 11. 8 plus 3, it makes it 11. How about for 11? What happened to 11 to make it 16? 11 plus 5, that is 15. Next, 16 I mean. 16, what do we do or what do we add to 16 to make it 19? That is plus 3. So, 16 plus 3, that is 19. And 19 plus 5, that is 24. So, it means to say we have now the pattern. And for our pattern here in number 3, we have plus 3, plus 5, respectively. Okay, so it means to say the next pattern here, 24 plus 3, that is 27. And 27 plus 5, the next number here is 32. Okay, so that's it. We're done with our activity for today. Always remember that to find the missing number in our pattern, we need to investigate based on the given example. The first thing that you need to do first is to identify the pattern in order for you to find out the next one. Okay? So thank you so much for listening and see you next time in our next live class. Thank you and have a nice day.